So if you clicked on the video, you know exactly sort of or you might have an idea of what the video is going to be about. Um, Now, I'm sure you've heard many people say in your life, don't waste your youth. And I, for one, certainly have. But typically, that person is someone who has a lot of life experience, which I guess adds some like validity. I can't talk right now. I'm sick, so sorry. Adds like some validity to, I guess, what they say. But I kind of wanted to give a different approach to this statement, and that I like the main demographic for this video, which is like, you know, still kids essentially that are like maybe like in high school, like under 25, like that sort of range there. I'm 20 myself, and up until very recently, I felt as if I truly was doing like nothing or wasting my life. The past year and a half prior to like the past like month really, I would spend all my time watching TV, like scrolling on my phone, playing video games. And there's nothing wrong with doing some of these things in moderation, but that was all I was doing. And during that time period, I lost some relationships with people that now I'm starting to build back again. And I think that it's important to understand, one, I guess, why I think this happens to a lot of people our age. And I know that a lot of people sort of deal with a similar thing of like feel like they waste their time at this age instead of having a lot of experiences. A lot of the people that I've talked to that are a generation ahead feels like they did a lot more things than the kids our age and took a lot more risks with things than people my age. So it's kind of where the basis of this video is going. You're gonna notice, this is probably gonna be the first video you've watched from me, that I might jump around a lot, so apologies if I do. I kind of like to feel more as if like a conversation. I'm not gonna make a lot of edits in the video itself, so just bear that in mind. Understanding, I guess, sort of why that might be is kind of important, I think, to answer the question, or not answer the question, to understand the statement of like, don't waste your youth, and what exactly do I think, like, what do I think that means? But firstly, I think that it's very easy for I guess this generation, you know, if you're in high school right now, if you're like under 25, to not take everything is right, is super comfortable for us. You know, you have everything pretty much within access. I mean, like the fact that you can simply like order food from any restaurant essentially and get it to your house. A lot of these sort of basic things that just provide like a lot more comfort per se, which is like easier life. I think it makes it, you tend to do things that are like extraordinary or like risky less often. Combined with that, you have a lot of things that provide easy stimulation, like easy dopamine, whatever. I'm sure you've heard that concept before if you're my age. Things like social media, like porn, video games, and when you have something like that right at your fingertips, it doesn't, in your brain essentially doesn't think it makes a lot of sense to put in a lot of effort and a lot of risk to do something. So I think understanding that is important to understanding how not to waste your youth, which is essentially to cut back on all those things, right? I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. I'm sure you've heard this a lot, but simply using social media less and playing video games less and doing a lot of these other activities that are very easy to do and provide lots of stimulation, doing them less will make your life better. In my opinion, you'll find other things to fill the gap, like to do. For instance, you're on social media less, maybe you start reading more. Just a suggestion. And from that, you will get more satisfaction. And maybe you say that's kind of like wasting your youth still, you're not really doing anything. Reading is still nonetheless valuable, and I would not consider it wasting like your time whatsoever. Even reading like a fictional book, like if you're reading like Dune just came out, like the movie, the second part. If you're reading like the Dune series, I wouldn't consider that a waste of time. And even beyond reading, there's a lot of other things that you'll fill the gap in with as well, right? I mean, a lot of times I think like people my age associate don't waste your youth with maximizing your wealth and your income at a young age, which I disagree with. Um, I think that in order for you to, I think in order for you to really maximize your like this age is to find things that one you enjoy doing, and two to not to take just risk, like take risk in a lot of things, not just in terms of like monetary gain, but in terms of like actually doing things. And this can be a wide range of things for a wide range of people. For instance, someone might find it risky to go to like the movies by themselves, right? It might be a little uncomfortable for some, myself included, to just go walk in a movie like by yourself and watch it. Seems kind of ridiculous, but even things like that, just getting out there and doing things that perhaps you normally wouldn't do, and not being afraid to do them with or without people is ultimately how you'll feel great about yourself at such a young age. This past week, for instance, it was my spring break for school, so I was off for a week and also didn't work at all. So I spent my time I found things that I knew would make me feel good. And yeah, sure, I had a couple days where, I didn't feel 100%, but then I did one thing or two things by myself or with one of my friends, and my whole day just turned around. A few of the days of the week, I biked a far distance with one of my friends, and that really just made me feel great the rest of the day after that. And I felt like I'd done something like nice. Like I did something that not only was it like healthy for me, but I had a really fun time doing it. And it wasn't something that was just like easy at my fingertips. Like it took hours. I did other things as well, such as I went wakeboarding for the first time.
Oh, oh my God.
I'm sure I'm gonna show clips of that. It's hilarious. Um, just ate absolute shit a bunch of times. Had a great time, along with going skydiving, which I show in my last video, and just sort of doing all these things that are not just not things I normally would do, like ever. And for the longest time, I have been held back by myself to do the things I want to do. And after doing all these activities, I felt amazing. And this is like applicable to sort of, I feel like, every aspect of your life in terms of relationships, like taking risks with people, with the girls especially too. If you have a hard time talking to girls, like getting out there, just talking to girls like casually, nothing serious. And money as well, like taking risks, especially at this age, it's so important and fundamental. And I guess just going back to the don't waste your youth part. Sorry, I got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but just do things. Like start doing things. Try to do one unique thing a week. I would say start with that. Try to do something that is spontaneous, just random. One thing that, you know, sounds interesting. Even if you live somewhere that's sort of a hard place to do things, like you don't live in an urban area, you live somewhere maybe a little far away from a city, maybe just like travel to a city for a day, spend some time. It could be by yourself, with anyone, it really doesn't matter. Like if you can get out of the fear of doing something like that and just get out of your comfort zone doing something like that, you will, at the end of the day, you will not waste any of your time with anything. And just because you're not doing something per se like productive, like if you're going to, I don't know, like a movie by yourself, if that makes you uncomfortable, that's fine, do it, right? And it might not provide you any sort of long-term value, but you're doing something that is pushing you towards being a better version of yourself. You're not wasting your time, right? If you're doing something that is pushing you beyond like what you're currently capable of, go for it. Like, do that thing. I hope you enjoyed watching a little sort of rant. Check out my last video that I made. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.